What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today. It is the 10th day of November, and we're moving right along in this month of November so far, you guys. We've got 6 days, 12 hours left in this week. It's a brand new week here. $106,000 is the price. With last week's close, we have a bit of a pronounced wick to the downside, which is nice to see. Yesterday, Sunday, pulled up a good bit, and we've got about half that candle from last week is a wick, which is really good to see. You found support right here at prior support, and on a closing basis you actually found support right here where we had our prior weekly closing high for a while, right from December 2024 until May 2025, and maybe even it was until mid-May 2025. That was our all-time high weekly close, so we closed right at that level, right? The wicked down here, the closed right here at the top, and we closed above the 50-week moving average. I think there's a lot of signs here that we are showing support, good structure, and that we do want to move higher. As far as confirmation goes, we haven't confirmed this low yet. I'm very much under the belief, and I think that the whole damn crypto market right now, except for the perma bears, are under the belief that this is the low, right? There's probably a bunch of people who are 50-50 right now, but I think once we get above this high, we validate this as a low. There's no ands, ifs, or buts. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're the most bearish person in crypto. We take out this high. There's no way you can be bearish at that point. We're going to new all-time highs. There's no way around it, right? I would start to get excited. I would start saying that the low is in definitively once we once we get a day above here, that would definitely be definitive. But for my standard, I would say if we start closing days above about 106.5k, that would be enough for me. I'd start getting excited because then what we're doing is, officially we're breaking out of this range. I think we established that yesterday, and then we're breaking back into this range here. Which typically, when you break back into a range, you actually go to the opposite end, right? You'll go all the way up here. So I do think it's just a matter of time before we're back above 110k, 120k, and on our way to new all-time highs. Overall, we are, of course, still in this megaphone pattern, right? The megaphone here, connect the dots, and we do have what is famously known as a partial decline, where you reach for the bottom trend line, you don't quite hit it, and that typically signals that you will be moving to the upside, and not just moving to the upside, but breaking to the upside. So this overall move, the measure move here, would take us to about $165,000. That's the expectation when we do break out later this month. I would expect that we're probably going to break out within the next week or two. I certainly would expect that we're breaking out by the end of this month, and if we're not at 160k by the end of November, certainly sometime in December we'll be there, if not higher. Okay, looking at the 1 hour time frame, let's just look at the validity of this move. Are we going to pull back at all? We're getting a good little bit of volume here, but we're not really breaking out. This does look rather flaggish, right? It's like a bull flag almost right here. Maybe it's this overall thing. However it looks bullish to me. With that being said, Bitcoin lately has been doing this thing where, whenever you move down, you move flat, you move up. If you move up, you move flat, you move down. You know what I mean? That's just kind of how it is. So if we were to move down from here, don't be too discouraged. It's completely possible, and it's completely fine. If we're looking at this from should I take this low or should I take this low? Let's take this low. Take this low to high. Let's pretend that we are topping off here momentarily. It would be completely acceptable to pull back down to like $103,000. We could pull back to 103.5, 103.7. Everything would be fine. We could even pull back lower than that, but at this point in time, if we were to pull back 103.7 to 103.5, somewhere around there, that makes the most sense to me. 103.4, that would make the most sense to me, to pull back, find support, and then continue to rally. We don't have to pull back there, but it's just something to mention. 1 hour time frame, looking at our indicators, the RSI is very strong. We're coming down. Yes, right now we are coming out of the oversold zone, or the overbought zone, but we're at areas to bounce. We've kind of cooled off, right? We've gone from this overbought reading, consistently overbought, to now we're hanging out, and we've just cooled off enough where we're literally at the same reading in the RSI that we were back here when we initially made this breakout. So we've reset the indicators. We're ready to go. Stochastics are reset. They're not fully reset, right? We're not in the oversold zone, but you don't need to be. The stochastics can just hang out here for as long as they want. The MACD looks like it wants to come down. Looking at it like this, I feel like it is possible that we do go lower. But again, that 103.5k level, 103.7k, maybe we even find support at 104.5k, somewhere around there. But that would be my expectation. 4 hour time frame, looking here. Getting into the overbought zone is nice. We're breaking out, but we're not really getting a whole lot of volume. And this is on Coinbase, so this is like the second biggest exchange in the world as far as crypto is concerned. So I think that it would have been nicer to see more volume. We don't necessarily need volume right now. You know, sometimes you do get a lack of volume on these little retracement moves, and then once you get the real breakout, maybe we're breaking out of here. Maybe once we get this breakout, that's when the volume really comes in. We'll see. I would like it if there was more volume, but that's okay. As long as we're not picking up volume on the downside, we're just picking up volume to the upside, I think we're fine. The MACD has crossed above the zero. Okay, so this is something, a going theory that we've applied over the weeks now, is that when the 4-hour time frame, for whatever reason, when the MACD crosses above the zero, we go under like a day to a 3-day consolidation phase. So that definitely does add to the idea that we could be going down from here. I mean, we look at the RSI. You've got these higher lows. Whoops, that's not what I meant to draw. You've got these higher, if I could draw a straight line, higher lows and higher highs. We're kind of at the top end of this channel. Maybe we come down, we find support, and then we come back to the overbought zone at a later date. This is the 4-hour time frame, so 6 candles goes by, and that's 1 day, you guys. So here, crossing above the zero, typically for whatever reason, we go through like a 1 to 3 day consolidation phase before we start moving higher. But the next move that comes will likely be larger than this move. So from here, we'll consolidate, we'll do our thing, whatever, and then a day or 3 goes by, and you know, next thing you know, it's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and we're breaking out, and we'll likely see a larger move than what we saw here. Something that again probably takes us all the way to the top side of this range, up toward $116,000. That'd be my guess. At least to 112K, but we should be, in other words, I'm thinking that as far as timing goes, we will be Wednesday or Thursday should put us at a price range between about 116 to $111,000. That'd be my guess. Probably closer to 116K by the end of this week. That's my thoughts there. Or higher. Or higher. And again, this doesn't have to happen. Okay. The MACD crossing above the zero doesn't mean we have to consolidate, but typically we do only on the 4-hour. Again, I want to be very clear. If you're crossing on the 1-hour or the daily or the weekly, crossing above the zero is actually a very bullish thing. But for some reason on the 4-hour time frame, it just means you consolidate and then you rally. Not always, but a good healthy bit of the time. Daily time frame here. And again, that's not like something you're going to learn in a textbook. That's not something you're going to learn in like the fundamentals of the MACD, the moving average convergence divergence indicator. No, that's more of just like an observation that we've made over the past month, and we've seen it play out throughout all kinds of cryptos. It's crazy how flawless it seems to be. There's moments where it hasn't worked, but like 90% of the time it really does. Anyways, daily MACD bullish divergence. We're getting that move playing out now, I think. Stochastics are coming up. This tells me that we have days, if not weeks ahead of as far as growth goes. The weekly or the daily RSI is bouncing from the same areas that it's been bouncing from basically all year. Beautiful, all good things. Definitely believing that the low is in. Validate to me and to the world that the low is in. The first step, I think, would be closing above here, close above about 106.5K, and then the final step is get above 116.4K, a whole $10,000 higher than that. So if you can get above this level here, I will start to be very excited. As far as the closing price goes, close a day above 106.4K, and then I'll be excited that the low is in. The rest of the market will be very excited. Everybody will be screaming that the low is in once we're at 116.4K. At that point, it becomes indisputable. And then we're on our way to 160K. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. I think I've said everything I need to say. We're consolidating. We got the weekly close. The RSI, because we did pull up on Sunday a little bit, the RSI didn't close as low as some of these other readings provided, but that's okay. Whatever. We're still in this zone nonetheless, right? This overall zone here, we're still in it more or less. We're just a little bit higher here, and that's actually not a bad thing, right? I think that means that we're showing strength, if anything, but we'll see. Or could this mean that this week is the last week to the downside that we have a little bit lower to go, and then we'll go up? Time will tell. But based off the shorter term time frame indicators, I would think that we're in the midst of a move that will take us higher. I got nothing else. Hit the like button, subscribe, take care of yourselves, all right? We should be around, I think, around 116K by the end of this week. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.